My name's Courtney and welcome back to my channel. Obviously you can tell we're in a little bit of a different scenery. Of course my head's blocking some of the stuff that I hung up. Good job, Courtney, on hanging up stuff. But I decided to go ahead and move where I'm filming because I didn't want to keep filming right in my bedroom because that's my bedroom and it's just kind of nicer to be in a different space where you're doing work and stuff like that besides the space that you're sleeping in. Plus it's messy there 90% of the time. So this is bound to happen. But I also wanted to go ahead and today do my update for my project pan. I know. It's late. I apologize. I actually did have this filmed on time. Actually, I filmed it a little bit early because I felt like I finished up enough products to film it early. But when it came to trying to get it to transfer and edit it, it became a lot very quickly. And since I'm still pretty new at this, I got very frustrated very quickly. And at that point in time, I had watched the footage multiple times. Didn't really like it, so I thought, you know what? I'm gonna give myself a week, take a breath, and we'll try this again. So, mind you, the week turned into like 2.5 weeks. That's nor here nor there, right? So let's, after my whole little explanation of everything, this intro is taking way too long, so let's just get right on into it. Alrighty, so first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and we'll just go through our empties. I'll try to go through this kind of quickly. And then I do have some extra stuff in there that I kind of added in after the fact, just because first off, this is my first project pan and I really want to feel good about myself and I knew I was gonna finish these products. And I've been thinking about doing a little bit of skincare in with it as well. If you guys think that's a good idea, let me know down below. But let's go ahead. So first one is the Mini Matte Blur Stick, the Trazique. It did what it's supposed to. I mean, obviously you can tell, like, I mean, I did dig it out. Like, I really wanted to actually finish this fully. The problem is, just like with a lot of like blurring where it's got silicones because it covers up your pores, it basically puts stuff into your pores to smooth out your skin, and that's what blurs it. The problem with that is when you put it on your nose, it does cause a lot of foundations and stuff like that to slide. So that's exactly what happened. And of course, I'm an oily mess anyway, so stuff comes off my skin very easily. So I liked it when I used it for my pore areas right here, but I wouldn't repurchase it again. So this is my Maybelline concealer. It's drugstore concealer. I liked it plenty enough. I liked it enough to take the stopper out. And I mean, there's a little bit, but obviously you can kind of tell. I mean, I scraped that bad boy. I tried to get out as much as I possibly can. The stopper fell into the thing, so that didn't help with some of the bottom of the product, but again, it was really, really good. It did, when I first started using it, kind of like irritate my under eyes a tiny bit. It kind of like burned, but that like happened only after like the first 2 uses, and then it was perfectly fine. So I enjoy it. So I would repurchase that again, but I think part of that is just because of the pricing of it. But again, you can't really beat drugstore pricing. So next one is the Great Lash Maybelline. Obviously, this is like a cult classic, you know, green top, pink tube. I enjoyed it. It definitely doesn't do anything like fabulous for your eyelashes, but I mean, it does, like, it extends it. It looks good. So, enjoyed that. I did go ahead and I'm calling this one quits. It's the Ciate limited edition Starstruck eyeliner. I've had it long enough that I pretty much rubbed off absolutely everything on it. It's one of those where it's like a blunt tip. You can tell I was kind of messing with it. I mean, it's like super duper dry right on the blunt tip. You can get a little bit more if you go like right on the bottom, but it's very hard to get a good line because it's such a blunt tip. And then of course it's got a star on that side. Star works pretty well, but I don't have a lifestyle where I could put a star on my face, and I feel like for me that's acceptable. So didn't really use that side. So I've had that for almost a year. I'm ready to get rid of it, ready to start using other eyeliner. So did that. The NYX professional makeup, like the micro brow pencil. I got mine in chocolate. I really like this pencil. And of course for the price, it's really, you can't beat it. The only thing I didn't really like was the color of it. So I would definitely get a different color, but I would definitely repurchase this again. Next thing that I finished up was my mini luminous light ambient lighting powder by Hourglass. This is the first Hourglass thing that I've ever gotten, and I really, really liked it. I mean, who doesn't first off love the packaging of it? I loved how my skin looked, because I mean, it does have a little bit of sparkle in it, but not enough to be like it looks like glitters just on your face. But I really, really enjoyed it. The sad thing about it is they're so expensive. So I'm probably gonna go through some of my other powders first. The only other thing about this that I wish it did was it actually extended the life of my makeup. It didn't really help keep me matte. It just made the finish of my makeup look really, really good. So I did. It was really hard to sit there and try to tell whether or not the Stila one was finished, but like when I'm trying to put it on the back of my hand, there's like nothing coming off, like barely any glitter. So it's like pretty much dried up. I really, really like this. So this one was Kitten Karma, which I feel like most people have gotten. And I would repurchase this again. But this is the Magnificent Metal Glitter and Glow Liquid Eyeshadow. I would repurchase it again, but again, this is really, really expensive. So for just one eyeshadow, for me, it's really expensive. So I would like to try to find a dupe, or if you guys know what a dupe would be for that. I heard someone say the Pixie Glow ones were pretty good, but just let me know down in the comments, because I really, really liked that. I put this in, but the Daisy Love little sample perfume, I finished that. That one's all gone. I did go ahead and put in my lip scrub, because I did purchase a couple more that I'm actually trying out right now. This is the Sugar and Lemon Moisturizing Lip Buffer by Serafina Botanicals. This is not worth it. There's not enough sugar in it to actually exfoliate anything. The oils of it like just got everywhere and was hard to wash off. And I didn't enjoy it. It kind of put me off the lip scrubs for a little bit. So, and then the other one that I got finished was the Supergoop Eye Cream with Oat Peptides for advanced aging. So, I mean, I'm 25, but you can never start too early on your war against wrinkles. So, with that being said, you can still see a tiny bit, but this packaging has gone rounds trying to get as much as I possibly can out of it, and I'm just not the person to cut it open to try to get the rest of it. And I've had this for almost a year, so for me, I got my money's worth. It's all good. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into he's just trying to talk to you guys. I don't know what his problem is. It's fine. But let's go ahead and jump on to the stuff that I've made progress on. Alrighty, so things that I've made progress on. So we'll just start with the base and then kind of go from there. So first things first, I have still been working on my Flower Beauty foundation. Again, it's more summer now. It's getting a lot hotter. I'm an oil slick. It is a dewy foundation, so it doesn't stay very long. So I am having a harder time using it now. But I am a stubborn person and refuse to take it out of my project at this point. Yeah. So I do have it in this container. It is less than half. So I mean, that is the good thing about it. It is less than half. Mind you, if you're gonna do a foundation and you're gonna mix it, I would almost try to mix it in that bottle, because I've learned my lesson. This is one of the messiest things ever. We'll go ahead and talk about my Kat Von D. So I have finished up Leviathan. I've been working on Lyric. As you can tell, I've made some nice progress on that. So I've again just been using as under my under eye, and it kind of depends on how I'm feeling that day, because I used to really like yellow powders, like banana powders, to kind of help cancel out my dark circles. But this one can come off very, very yellow, and so I have to be kind of careful the way that I apply it. But needless to say, you can definitely see that I've gotten a lot of progress on it. So I really, really like that. I'll go ahead and show you my blush, but again, it's a blush. So again, just wearing down the emblem right now. It's just going. I mean, I don't get me wrong, I do love peach, and this isn't a bad, there's some blushes that I've gotten recently that are a little bit more like creamier powders that I enjoy the feel of it, but the way that this applies and the way that it looks on my face, I do really, really enjoy it. So I would repurchase the Flower Beauty blush. Next, let's go ahead, and this is my ColourPop. This is in Flexitarian. I've had this for over a year. I finally feel like I'm making progress. I finally feel like I'm doing something right. It is a movable product. It's kind of moussey. So I did kind of move it off to one side, but you can definitely tell like there's not as much product in there as what it was previously. Mind you, it is old, so it does flake off a lot more than what it would if I just recently purchased it. But I will say, ColourPop, with how inexpensive they are and the type of products that they have, I mean, they're just worth it. It's just worth it. I mean, I don't know how else to sit there and say that. This highlighter has been going and going. I'll probably get a little bit of a different color just because, I mean, it can get a little icy on me and it's really glittery. But that's because of personal preference. But really overall, I've really enjoyed this highlighter. So, I've used it as an eyeshadow. Obviously, that's what I've used as an eyeshadow today, as an inner corner, and then overall highlighter. So I use it in a lot of different ways. So that's really, really nice when a product that you have that is on the cheaper side lasts a nice little bit, and it can be very versatile, and it comes up with really great looks. So Flexitarian's mine. This is my Modern Renaissance. Again, it's really ugly. I mean, I beat the crap out of my makeup. It is used. So, but you can tell where I'd had mixed these colors and pressed it in here. I definitely, I've used that up completely, like it's gone. I cannot sit there and say that my Hoola bronzer is finished, because even though this pan is empty, when I had to go repress it, because I repressed it the first time, not very great, so it crumbled again. I did put some in here because it is a cooler tone, and I had been using the Hoola for a transition, so I thought it'd be really, really nice to put in there. So technically I'm not finished with my Hoola, but I'm using the rest of it as an eyeshadow instead of a bronzer. That way I can start working on another bronzer. But I did finally hit pan, little BB pan, Bueno Fresco. I've expanded my pan on my Antique Bronze and my Warm Taupe. I've gotten a little bit more use on my Red Ochre. So really what I would like to sit there and see, I would like to see pan on Red Ochre, and I would just really, the other three, I would like to see more use out of, because the Love Letter, Venetian Red, and Real Gar are the three that I've been having the hardest time with. But yeah, again, this is my Ride or Die palette, so I don't have a problem with using it. It's really usually pretty easy. The only thing is now, because I've used up a lot of like the transition shades and stuff like that, I do have to pull from other palettes. So that's the only difficult thing about this right now. So my lip liner by Contour. So it is, this much is left. So this is my little thing, so you can see the line right there and see how much farther it's come down. I will say this is a really dry formula, and it was yesterday, like a tiny bit, it wasn't too much, but a tiny bit did pop off. So there's that. I'll go ahead and do some lip stuff. We'll just finish up the lips. So this is my Doll Face by Too Faced. You can tell, again, there's different coloring on it because I use it over, I mix it a lot because of how light of a color it is. That is where we were, and that is the progress we're making. So that is actually really, really nice to see because I am horrible at panning lip stuff. And for someone who has a hard time getting through lip stuff, I got a lot of lip products. So I really got to start buckling down and getting through them. So, and then this is of course from Rich. This is the darker color that I have a really hard time using because I don't do a lot of like darker colors. So that is that. So I've actually used quite a bit of product for that. So I'm actually really proud of myself. A lot of the times what I do is I'll put both of these on like a little tiny palette and take a little brush and then put that on my lips because this will lighten this up and it's almost like a perfect color for me. So there's that. I've got 2 eyeliners that I'm using currently. So this is jet black. The black tip down here is plastic, so it doesn't actually hold product, but that is that right there. So that is quite a bit of product. Mind you, it is a sharpening pencil, and I do sharpen it more frequently now than what I did before, because even though I use it in my inner line, yeah, that thing right there, the waterline, there you go. I just don't like it a lot, and it's really, really difficult trying to get through that product. So, so it is what it is. It will be finished by the end of the year, one way or another. And then this is my brown eyeliner. This is right here. So there's some use out of it. It did break, so as you can tell, it kind of wiggles, so I have to be a little careful with it. After I'm finished with this, unless there's for some reason I all of a sudden get really into brown eyeliners, I'm probably not going to purchase one again for a while, because it was like I sat there and I told myself, you have to have a brown eyeliner. It's more for natural looks. You have to have it. And I don't actually, because I barely ever use it. So, but that's one of the great things about doing project pans, is because you actually sit there and you get to see stuff that you actually use compared to stuff that you don't. So you know what you should be buying and what you shouldn't. That's what it's all about, right? So let's go ahead and just jump into what I'm replacing a lot of my stuff that I've actually finished. All right, so I promise you we're getting towards the end, so just bear with me. So the things that I'm going to be replacing, the stuff that I've already gone through. So my Hoola bronzer, like what I just told you guys, I'm not using it as a bronzer anymore. It's just an eyeshadow, and so that's why I put it in the Modern Renaissance. But I do want to get more use out of this palette. So what I've actually been doing is Subconscious and Shadow Play. I've actually been mixing and putting on as my bronzer. And it's actually looked really, really nice, because Subconscious is actually it's more of a contour shade, but for me, at least for me, it feels like it's a little too gray for my skin. So the other one kind of warms it up a little bit, and I get use out of 2 different products. So it will take me twice as long, but I will actually still be getting use out of both of them. So I'm actually really, really happy about that. Concealer. So this is the Kokie Be Bright Illuminating Concealer. It's a little bit more on the watery side. I've not really ever tried anything from Kokie before. This is 6 ml, so 0.2 fluid ounces in the shade Light. I got this in an Ipsy bag. It's nice. It definitely, I mean, it's not the most coverage one. It's definitely very brightening. But I enjoy using it. So we'll just keep using on that. I am using my Hangover Too Faced primer. This is the next oldest primer that I have, so I do want to try to get rid of it. The problem is when I try to use it with the Flower Foundation, there's way too much dewiness going on. So I'm actually, when I use that foundation, I use a matte lock, the Infallible Matte Lock, which is a mattifying primer, and that seems like that's working okay. So that one's going to be a little difficult to get through, but when I do use it, I usually put it on the outskirts of my face, and then I'll do the mattifying one on my T-zone, which is where I have the most issue. And my other foundations that I've been playing with, that's worked really, really well. So we're gonna go ahead and keep using that. Then I've been actually using this for a nice hot second. So the Precisely My Brow is what I'm using. So there is that much. I'm like blocking it from you, that much. And then of course everything that I'm showing you guys I will mark down on my little note card, so that way we can see a little bit more use. The thing that I'm using is the NYX Epic ink liner, and I'm pretty sure this is a brush tip, and I actually really like it. It's really nice and black. It's tiny. It's easy to control. It's what I'm wearing today. I really enjoy this, and it's NYX, so it's affordable. So I can already tell you that's something I'll probably repurchase. Powder that I'm using currently, I'm using multiple, but this is one of them that I'm using more on a regular basis, which is the All Nighter. This is a new one that I wanted to sit there and figure out what I liked about it, and so I went ahead and put it in here because I wanted to figure out if this is something I'm going to repurchase again. I do have two that are opened. I did do the NARS Climax. This is a travel size, so I decided to go ahead and open up another one. Because this shouldn't take too long for me to get through. So we're putting this in, and then I'm also doing the Cover Lash Blast Fusion. So they are two totally different brushes, if you can tell. So this one, as of right now, I've been using more on my upper lashes, and then I'll use this one for my lower lashes. And I feel like right now they're both working pretty well. I keep going back and forth between this, but I'll let you guys know exactly what I think when I use it up. And then the last but not least, I'm gonna go ahead, I know, another lip product, and you just told us that you have a really hard time getting through them, but this is a travel size, and I'm almost done with it. So it's like I want to go ahead and put it in here because I just need that little extra oomph to be like, Courtney, you can do this. It's okay. Like, you can finish up the products. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. It shouldn't, hopefully, but take me maybe a week or two if I use it regularly. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then the perfume that I'm going to go ahead and put in here is the Flower Bomb Viktor and Rolf sample. I've had this for also almost a year. And I mean, it just smells it's very potent. It's very floral too. It's not my favorite, and I'm really just trying to get rid of it. My husband doesn't like the smell either, so just dropping everything. So, but we're gonna go ahead and try to get rid of that. So, and then currently, I've talked about this, but this is my Pixie. That's where it was. I'm still using that currently. And then my Morphe's almost finished. So my next update, you should see a new spray as well. So that is all for today. Again, I'm so sorry, you guys, that this is such a late video. I will do another update, but I'll probably do it a month from when I upload this video, so it actually gives me a little bit more time. The reason why I finished a lot of the products that I did this last couple of months is because this is stuff that I have been working on and off for like the last year to 2 years. So I don't see me finishing up as many products this month or this coming up month, and I'm okay with that. It's definitely going to be a little less exciting. But I just wanted to kind of let you guys know that that's the reason why I got through a lot of these products, is because, again, I've been working on them forever. So, let me know how you guys usually like to watch project planners show progress. I feel like a lot of people are going more towards the tallying or weighing their products, which I think is really smart. But I want to see what you guys think before I just run out and buy a kitchen scale and stuff like that before I do it. So enough rambling. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I really, really appreciate it. If you liked today's video, go ahead and hit subscribe down below, and then I will have more content like this coming up in the future. And of course, again, if you like this video, go ahead and put a like. Or if there's something that you think that I could maybe do a little bit better, or if you guys have any suggestions of specific videos that you would like to see in the future, just let me know. Put a comment down below. I love you guys very, very much, and I will see you next time.